Hi, so today I'm going to be making a video on how much money I'm saving for my Appalachian Trail thru-hike in 2023. So obviously how much money you have to save for a thru-hike varies depending upon the person. It depends upon your goals, like how you want to kind of do your thru-hike, what kind of job you have before you thru-hike. Do you want to thru-hike spending as little as possible and constantly stay on trail and sleep in your tent or hammock and not eat in town, sleep in town often, or some people go, to the opposite end of that and constantly stay in town, go in town many nights a week, kind of hop from hostel to hostel, hotel to hotel, eat out a lot. So, I think they call that platinum blazing. It kind of depends upon the person, but I know for me, I kind of want like a middle ground between those two. I want to definitely stay in town at least once a week, shower, do laundry, resupply, and have a night in a bed, but I also don't want to be in town constantly and like blowing my budget. So I'm kind of like in the middle of that scale. For me, I went based on the average that most people spend. So according to the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, most hikers spend about $1,000 a month, and most people take on average like 6 months to complete the hike. I went based on that number, and I also went based on that average amount that it takes people to finish the hike. So I'm saving as if I'm going to be hiking for 6 months. I'm going to be doing the $1,000 a month kind of average number that they give. That means I'm saving $6,000 for the hike itself. It's not just money for the hike itself. You have to save money for gear, you have to save money for any expenses that you might have at home while you're gone. It kind of depends upon the person. Some people get rid of all their home expenses. For me, I still live at home, so I don't have like a house to worry about, an apartment, any of that. But I do have a car loan, and I have, some little things like my phone. I'm saving money as well for my bills at home. This varies by person. For me, it's a couple thousand. Actually a little on the higher end, but I want to make sure I have plenty of money. I'm breaking it into like 3 groups. It's the money I need for my actual thru-hike, resupplying hostels, hotels, shuttles, gear replacements, all that. Money that I need to pay for bills at home, and then gear money. When I decided that I wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail in March of 2021, I kind of just started buying gear. Researched a lot, and I just dove right into buying my gear. So I bought all my gear over the course of the last year and a half, and it's pretty much all bought now. I also asked for gear for like Christmas and birthdays and stuff. I didn't buy all my gear myself, so I don't have to save money for that. But if I was to save money for that, my gear costed me around $1,500 in money that I used. And then if I didn't get certain gear for gifts, all my gear together probably would have cost me around $2,000. Bought pretty lightweight stuff, and I'm going to talk about that in my future videos about what gear I'm bringing on the trail and what clothes I'm bringing on the trail. For me, since I don't have to save money on gear, I saved for the actual thru-hike itself and then for the expenses at home. I am saving at a minimum $8,000 for the hike. That's a couple of thousand for bills back at home, and then $6,000 for the hike itself. Now, obviously, everybody's aware that right now our economy is not doing super great and inflation is very high. The cost of goods has gone up a lot, so I'm sure, gas has gone up a lot. So I'm sure come 2023, food and gas and everything's gonna still be more expensive, which means shuttle prices will go up, and, my resupplies will cost me more. So I am saving more than the recommended amount from the ATC to, offset that. Say now a more reasonable number would be $1,500 a month. That's me like overestimating that number because I still plan on budgeting well. That's basically what I'm saving. So if you kind of want to do the math, it's probably around $10,000 for this thru-hike. So I want to talk about some things that I'm doing to kind of cut down on costs for my thru-hike. Before I leave, I'm gonna call my insurance company, and I'm gonna put my car on like a garage insurance. I can just keep my car on comprehensive insurance, so that, if like a tree branch falls on my car, it's covered. So that should lower my insurance cost. I'm also gonna be canceling any unnecessary subscriptions that I'm not gonna use while I'm on my thru-hike. Another thing that I did was I went on eBay and Mercari and looked for used gear when I was buying gear. Most of my gear is new, but there's a couple things I did purchase that were used, such as my Garmin InReach and stuff. I also asked for gear for Christmas and birthdays to kind of reduce that cost for me. So in order to save all this money, I'm obviously working. I graduated from college in May, so I don't work full-time right now. I work a decent part-time job, so I'm just basically saving as much as I can from that job. Some other things that I've been doing for money are like little odd jobs, you know, dog sitting. And then another big thing that I've done is I've been selling pretty much anything that I don't use on a daily basis, wear on a daily basis, or enjoy on eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, and any money that I've gotten from doing that, I've put into my savings account for this thru hike. I've also been budgeting a lot so that I don't spend too much money. Pretty much anytime anybody asks me anything I want or need for any holiday, an event, anything, I have said, you know, gift cards, REI, money, gear. That is how I'm saving for my thru hike, and that is kind of how much money I'm saving. Hopefully that helped somebody else, and hopefully this video wasn't too jumbled. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how much I'm saving and how I'm saving my money. Obviously, like I said, these numbers vary for everybody. It depends on how you want to hike your hike. I personally kind of want to go on in the middle ground with it, you know. I don't want to be too cheap and not splurge at all, but I don't want to splurge too much. So that's how I'm going to be doing it, and then it also depends upon what you have back at home to pay for. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video was helpful to some people, and then stay tuned for other videos I'm going to have on my thru hike.